Every fall and spring, Bloomington Parks and Recreation takes groups of 6th graders from around Monroe County out to Leonard Springs Nature Park to be exposed to their natural environment, learning through hands-on application and real-life outdoor experiences. It is so important to get our children out of the classroom and into nature. It's a wonderful experience in an environment where education can thrive. Leonard Springs Nature Day is an experiential environmental education program for 6th grade students. It is a partnership between Bloomington Parks and Recreation and the Monroe County Community School Corporation. Each year, we bring 6th graders from the Monroe County schools to Leonard Springs Nature Park to engage in a day-long outdoor learning experience. First, let's visit the Wetlands Station. At this station, we'll look at the wetland habitat and how it's important for birds. Hopefully, we'll see some birds that we can identify.
This station is basically learning about wetlands, and we get to practice using binoculars and try to identify things. The best thing is if the wildlife cooperates with us, which today one session actually got to see a couple of hawks flying across, chasing each other. Then another session got to see a deer walking through the wetland. But sometimes we don't really get to see anything, but we have plush animals that we can use to talk about species identification. And the kids get to use binoculars and practice looking through them at the water tower and talk about what might or might not be written on that square space on the water tower. It's a fun place.
Next, it's on to the Forrest Station, where we'll hug some trees and use the tools that foresters use in the field.
The kids love coming to this station. We talk about all kinds of awesome stuff when it comes to trees. Not only do we have some identification guides to teach the kids about native tree species that live in Indiana, we also have some awesome tangible handheld objects that these kids can use to get their eyes on not only what's the importance of a tree, but what do we use as natural resources from trees? What do trees give to us? How do we study trees, and how do we learn about how they grow in our forests? And that is a huge tool that we want to teach these kids at this station. So we use an awesome tool called getting the diameter at breast height. It helps us track how trees grow over the years, and kids love hearing those numbers and being able to get those numbers with their own hands, just like some professional foresters are doing here in Indiana today.
Now, let's walk down to the creek station, where we will determine the health of our stream at Leonard Springs. We'll look at the critters that live there and do some chemical and physical testing as well.
Well, I'm known as Bob the Water Freak. I used to work for the Forest Service, and that's what my companions called me there. And I've been at Creek 2 for several years and really enjoy it. The kids, there's two things that I think they like the best. One of them is I do the chemistry part, and so I send one of them up to get a bucket of water. And the one that's lucky enough to be picked to do that has a good time, but they really like to interact with the insects in the water, the macroinvertebrates, especially the crayfish. And it's a real chore to get every one of them to pick them up. Some of the girls don't want to do that, but Pam does a good job of that as well. So yeah, Creek 2, I have a lot of good comments towards the end of the day from kids. This is the best place we stopped. You know, we really had a good time here. And as instructors, we do the same, of course, or we wouldn't be here.
Our final station is the karst station, where we will look at what's happening underneath the ground and the impacts that we can have on these karst systems.
This station we talk a ton about different karst systems and how they are affected by pollution. So one of the things you guys can most look forward to at this station is actually being able to see specifically the different types of geological systems and how pollution might affect them. So we'll actually put pollution in this thing, and we'll look at how it might affect this side, and then we'll look at how it'll affect karst systems. And when you guys get here, you'll be learning a lot about how it might affect, like pollution might affect the karst system a lot more than it might affect the geological system. Okay, so the second part of karst, you'll actually go down and you'll get to be into a cave. And in that cave, you're gonna learn about a whole bunch of different types of animals that might live in that cave. You're gonna learn about some different types of adaptations. And then you're also gonna learn about the levels at which they live. So if they live in the semi-dark, the dark, way back in the cave, stuff like that.
As you're preparing for your Leonard Springs Nature Day trip, think about the following things. Remember to bring a packed lunch with your favorite foods. You'll eat lunch with your group during your designated time and have a chance to meet animals from the Monroe County Humane Association. It's important that you dress appropriately. You'll need to wear closed-toed shoes during your visit. It's important that you bring a backpack to store your belongings in, as well as a water bottle to keep you hydrated. Leonard Springs Park has a lot of steep inclines, so be prepared to climb a few flights of stairs during your visit. Oh, also remember to check the weather. You might want to bring a jacket and wear layers in case it's chilly in the morning hours. One last thing. Are you guys ready?